This is KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and my guest today is Dr. Gerry Kreitzer, known as Dr. K to the thousands of students in high school and college who've benefited from his scholarship and direction, professor of music at Mount Mercy University. Yep. Gerry, welcome.
Thanks, Dennis. Thanks for having me on.
Nice to see you here today.
Yeah.
And we're talking today about your role as artistic director of the Cedar Rapids Concert Chorale, the venerable Cedar Rapids Concert Chorale.
Absolutely, the venerable. Established in 1959, so the premier original choral organization in Cedar Rapids. And I first moved to Cedar Rapids many years ago. I actually sang in that group for a number of years under the direction of Harry Moon, followed by Alan Keller, who was at Co at the time. And so it's nice to come full circle and rejoin with that group.
So for those who may be unfamiliar or perhaps have just occasionally seen the odd announcement about a concert but haven't paid that much attention, it's obviously it's a community organization. How do you get into the chorus?
Well, you can contact us at the web. You can contact us on Facebook. There'll be a number of announcements coming out about our first rehearsal coming up very end of August in the fall. And
is there an audition process, or more of a
screening? Hello, how are you? Kind of get some background, but it's not a scary audition procedure where you think you're going to have to really outperform. We're really interested in getting everyone who is very interested in singing, has some singing background, and just loves that choral experience. And I think with that kind of background, they're probably exactly the kind of singer we're looking for.
How many concerts do you do in a year?
Well, we've got 4 regularly scheduled concerts, but next season is really looking to be very exciting because we're adding at least 3 to our normal 4 scheduled concerts.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's great.
So things are really picking up for the chorale. Kind of started this spring, actually. Starting with an invitation to perform with Barry Manilow.
So that's the first of a couple of things you have coming up. So that concert is
tomorrow night. Yeah, tomorrow night, and Barry's last tour. So as he's billing it.
Are you allowed to say what you're going to be singing on?
Yeah, we're part of the finale. So I write the songs, and Copacabana, and ends with the big bang.
So obviously you got the charts, you got the music, so you've been rehearsing that. Will you rehearse with Barry himself, or maybe just his music director ahead of the concert?
Don't know if Barry's in on the rehearsal. I'm guessing the music director for sure. And so we'll go work with the band, work with the director. They give us a little bit of easy step touch choreography, and
there's some choreography
movement.
too.
You bet. So, and then Barry, this concert starts at 7:30. The name of the pre-act escapes me right now.
It's Dave Koz.
Dave Koz, yeah. And
yeah.
Barry takes the stage about 8:15, and so should be fun.
Well, that should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So,
and the event that I'm really excited about next week, Tuesday night, at Immaculate Conception Church, came out of years of kind of mulling this over with Father Chris at Immaculate Conception, of doing a high mass, one of the classical masses of the great composers, in a mass setting at that beautiful cathedral-like church that we have right in downtown Cedar Rapids. It's an event, not necessarily a concert or performance, but a musical mass, a high-sung mass. Father Chris will celebrate it in Latin. The chorale has learned all of the antiphons throughout the Mass, and we'll be chanting those. And the featured Mass is the Schubert Mass in G. We'll be doing it from the choir loft up there with strings. And then we're going to do, a few hymns, one at offertory, and a couple at communion. And we'll do the Bruckner Locus Iste, a wonderful motet, and a couple of great pieces by Paul Bassler with horn. So
most of us have not had the chance to participate in a high mass sung in Latin?
I really think, Dennis, this is a very, very unique experience for the corridor area. Yeah, and it hasn't been done, to my knowledge, for a very, very long time, if ever. So, it's something that's regularly done in Europe, and I think it's a great thing to get going here. And Father Chris and I kind of think that maybe this could be an annual thing.
Were there any particular challenges in taking a look at that music? This is a piece that's close to 200 years old, perhaps.
Well, yeah, it's a very famous and accessible mass by Schubert, one of his 6 that he wrote. But very serendipitously, we performed that work in February on our Masterworks concert. So it's already prepared, and wasn't any really extra work on behalf of the chorale. Another chance to sing the music, play the music in the setting that it was intended to be performed for. So that's kind of the unique thing about that.
And no admission charge, maybe just the offering plate.
Yes, an offering plate will be passed around. Yes, an offering plate.
And if you said what date this was next week, I missed it.
It's Tuesday, April 12th, 7 o'clock Mass.
Okay, so just go.
Come to Mass.
Okay.
And witness a Mass set in Latin. And I'm sure his homily will be in English so we can all understand. And I think he's going to focus on the importance of music in liturgy and the importance of these classical masses and how they were used.
Well, I often think about that, and you know that I'm an ex-choir kid myself,
right.
And have had a chance to over the years to sing some stuff. And I often think about the role of music in the early church when most of the people couldn't read. So the only way that they could ever remember, the Bible verses and the things was, music made it easier for them to internalize what was going on around them at church.
Absolutely, absolutely. In every denomination and every faith tradition, music has played that role. Yeah, for sure.
And so, by definition, these masses had to be accessible. They had to be singable. They had to be things that the people who came without much music education could appreciate.
Sure. And of course, that tradition evolved as throughout history.
Sure.
And
once the big composers got a hold of it, it got a little more complicated.
So the Beethoven Missa Solemnis, which the symphony is performing this year in May, not necessarily intended for liturgy. More of a concert piece, but inspired by the text of the Mass. So
again, it's tomorrow with Barry Manilow. So if you've got tickets to Manilow, you can you'll get a chance to see the concert and see the concert chorale dance.
Right,
that's worth the ticket price right there.
Yeah, right. A couple of step touches on that. And just to perk a little more interest on next year, we've gotten 2 invitations already to perform with Orchestra Iowa. So we'll be part of their holiday spectacular in December, and the Final Pops concert at the end of May. 2017. Maestro Hankiewicz is going to feature the music of John Williams.
Nice.
So we've got a couple of those performances, and we expect to do another wonderful cultural event with Father Chris at Immaculate Conception too.
Excellent. Now, before we do go, and we'll mention your website and everything before we close, but one thing that you and I know, and that people in the chorus knew, is that Mark Yother was a member of the concert chorale for years and years and years. And of course, we lost him earlier this year, but this is probably an opportunity to mention that his memorial service is coming up at the end of the month.
Yep.
April 23rd, which is a Saturday at 1:30 at his favorite haunt,
Tommy's Restaurant.
Tommy's Restaurant on the northwest side of Cedar Rapids. There will be a Facebook event and all of that kind of stuff as well. But we haven't mentioned that too much on the radio. But since you're here,
a couple of things about Mark that resonate with me is, he was such an instantaneous character to gravitate to when I first met him in the concert chorale, and the man in the black suit and the wavy silver hair. Which was a constant through his life, but what a unique, and then his radio voice, unmistakable. This is Mark Yother, KCCK. Truly,
He was a vocal performance major.
was
This is what he did.
Indiana University.
Yeah. That is
Serious vocal music.
Yeah, not everybody gets into Indiana University for vocal music.
Yeah.
So
yep.
You miss him a lot in the chorus.
We'll put a little tribute in our concert May 14th. We have a concert, folk music from around the world at First Lutheran Church, and we'll have a little acknowledgement and
very nice.
gratitude to Mark in that program.
That's very nice. So so again, if you've been wondering if there was going to be a service for Mark, it was made a little bit later because his brother wants to come from the East Coast to be a part of it. So it's April 23rd, 1:30 p.m. at Tommy's Restaurant, northwest side of Cedar Rapids. And then we mentioned the Barry Manilow concert, the Mass, which is Tuesday at Immaculate Conception Church, and the website for the Cedar Rapids Concert Chorale for information on this and everything else, including maybe auditions if you would like to be
Any
a part
information about the chorale, the season this year. We haven't posted next year's season yet, but we're close. We have dates picked, and but www.crchorale.org, the website, and find us on Facebook at CR Chorale, and like us.
And that's the most important part.
Exactly.
Is to like the chorale.
Yeah.
Dr. Gerry Kreitzer from the Cedar Rapids Concert Chorale. Thanks again for being here. Good
Thanks,
luck with
Dennis,
your
for having
events.
me on. You bet.